Starting at 7 o'clock, come a little bit early. There will be a meditative service from 7 to 8-ish, and then there are activities for kids. There is, hopefully, weather permitting, a bonfire and some s'mores. So help us celebrate the service this Friday, December 20, 7 o'clock, right here. See you then.
Today we tell two ancient stories. Stories like ones that have been part of humanity since the human family first moved onto the plains of Africa, out of the plains of Africa and into the lands of the north. Imagine those travelers. They were used to days all being the same length. And as they got farther and further north, the nights got longer and longer, and the days shorter. So they created celebrations to call back the night. Now is the turning of the year. We stand poised in stillness, which has passed and spread out behind. What is to come lies before us. The sun lies so very low in the sky, and the days are brief. Night enfolds our cares, our hopes, our grief. We await the return of the light. In the pause of the year, when time stops, when reality seems no longer real, we make a delight of songs, a feast of poems, a celebration of telling tales. May each of you know that you are welcome in this house of peace, and may our worship and fellowship this morning touch your heart, your mind, and your spirit. Welcome to our celebration of life. I invite you all to stand now in body or spirit as we light our chalice and say our covenant together.
Rabbi, teacher, wonderful counselor, Lamb of God, light of love, anointed one, word and bread of life, Son of God and woman, Emmanuel. Kindle our chalice today. Set our hearts ablaze with your pure and radical love. Help us to have faith that can heal the sick and feed the hungry masses. Be with us now. Help us to welcome the refugee, to stave off the slaughter of innocents. Show us your mercy. Help us to see that for the smallest, the humblest, the least of these burns the brightest star. We unite the strength and bonds of kinship among all persons, through human dignity, and to increase reverence for life's creating, sustaining, and transforming power through worship, study, and service.
You can be seated. Thank you. This is, we're going to light our third Advent calendar. It's the third week of Advent, and the celebration this week is joy. That's why we light the pink candle. Vlad is going to light the candle as I say, Spirit of life. We light the candle of joy this week May our hearts overflow with the deep, abiding joy of your presence, and may we share that light with all those around us, especially those who walk in darkness. Guide us to be instruments of hope and love in this season. We're going to be singing a lot of carols today. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not sure we're supposed to stand up every single time. So this is the first one. This is going to be Deck the Halls. If you want to stand up one more time with some joy for Deck the Halls, you can. The words will be up on our screen.
Whosoever shall be found observing any such day as Christmas or the like, either by forbearing labor, feasting, or in any other way as a festival, shall be fined 5 shillings. Those who would like to pay their fines now and get it over with are invited to do a quick calculation on the current value of those 5 shillings as we prepare to receive our morning offering. And furthermore,
Thank you, Pilgrim.
it is clear that we, as a people, have an obstacle to clear, a gap to money. In order to meet our annual budget and to make some sorely needed improvements. If you could be so kind as to find me or one of my fellow stewardship pilgrims after the service to obtain a Mind the Gap envelope, we would gladly help you with ideas on how to fill that envelope, how to seal and label that envelope, and how to turn that envelope into the office so as to help us all mind the gap. Thank you.
A pilgrim with dance moves, yes. It is true, giving is the ultimate way to ensure the true richness of spirit, and without giving, we're watered down, lost in the flood of our self-focus, and sharing our shillings ensures that this community can continue its mission to create belonging, inspire curiosity, and heal our world. The regular good old offering will now be gratefully received, but mind the gap too. Thank you very much.
Welcome, one and all, to our all-church, interactive, no-rehearse pageant. It's one of the most amazing things about the Nativity Story is that it couldn't have happened with so many people participating, even all those years ago. Mary and Joseph, the shepherds, the townspeople, the animals, even the angels, all helped to create the story of Jesus' birth. And so today we're going to do the same thing. Because it's a really old way of experiencing the stories from the Bible. In the medieval Europe, people told the stories of Jesus by acting out mystery plays. And at that time, men and boys would dress in costumes in the village or town and gather in the church, and they would be directed by the priests and the monks and create the whole story so everybody in the village who didn't know how to read or write would still know all the stories. Those who didn't have parts would get to watch the stories, which was mostly all the women. But we're going to do the same thing, but for ours it'll be a little bit different. Today, our narrators will be Elijah and Lois, and they will tell the story as Linda, Debbie, Natalie, Vlad, Karen all help everybody get dressed into your costumes and get into your places. So, and Elizabeth. Thank you all. So, this has a long history, but we're going to make a few changes. The most glaring thing is that women, of course, are in charge as well. They're in charge. They're not just in part. Sorry about that. But if you look around, the women are in charge. And acting it out. Acting it out brings it more alive and makes it be something that we can enter into with our whole bodies. So I'd like to just briefly explain that participation can be singing, it can just be appreciating, but it can be jumping in and being a part of any of the things that are going on. So all the lyrics of the songs are going to be displayed on the screens, so you'll be able to follow along. You don't have to thumb through your books. Second, you'll notice in your orders of service, below the song titles are instructions. So if you only want to join in the larger crowd portions, those are your instructions will be your part of your interactive participation. And as we listen to the story and sing the songs together, we're going to be creating our own living nativity. When we sing Jesus, our brother, you'll notice in the order of service that all the animals come to the front. So as we're singing that song, anybody that wants to be an animal, come on up front and join us on the chancel. And you know what? If you forget the instructions, that's fine. Just ask somebody around you. We'll get through this. Third thing, if you did not wear something special, we have plenty of costumes in the back and over here, and people that will help you get them on. So just go head for a concert, head to a direction and tell them what you want to be, and you'll be in. And last of all, there's going to be some movement and some noise. So let's remember, that's what Christmas is all about. Some movement and some noise. Remember all those holidays when your kids were 2 years old and you thought you were going to pull your hair out and now you miss it? Just think of that right now. Right now, we turn our attention towards Jerusalem about 200 years before Jesus is said to have been born. There, a miracle is about to happen that people will still celebrate today, Hanukkah. This is how Rabbi Michael Feshbach tells it.
Long, long ago, there were people who lived far away in the desert, who are known as the Israelites or the Jews. Life was hard in the deserts, and while they didn't have to fear the darkness of the long winter nights, they did have to fear that they would lose their freedom. The Greeks ruled the land where the Jews lived, and one day they took over the Jewish temple. But brave Judah fought the Greeks, dumped out the statue of Zeus, the evil king had made them put there. The Ner Tamid, the eternal light, had gone out. They had only enough pure oil to last for one day, yet a miracle happened. It lasted 8 days, long enough for them to get new oil. So began the festival of Hanukkah, a festival of the rededication of the temple. Today, Hanukkah reminds us how precious a thing religious freedom is. Hanukkah reminds us how to light a candle against the darkness, to always treasure our freedom to worship. If you are wearing blue today and want to join in the celebration of the miracle with Judah, please come forward now. Oh my. Okay. Where's the music?
Please join us in singing Light One Candle.
Thank you. one candle for the make-up children, thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice, justice and freedom demand. But light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peace we time is at hand. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears.
Now let's just take a moment to settle ourselves, to put our feet on the floor, take a deep breath in. Oh, and exhale, letting all any tension, any worries that are with you today, all of that shopping will get done. All of the cookies will get made. Breathe in. Everything is exactly as it needs to be this morning. In this season of light here in the Northern Hemisphere, we can imagine so many fires of hope burning. The lights of Hanukkah, of Los Posados, of Advent. The coming lights of the solstice and Christmas, Santa Lucia and Kwanzaa, Saturnalia, Brumalia, and the traveling lights of Diwali. They move between October and November. For us, these are the holy days of the winter season, and the reminder that the light of hope and freedom and rebirth, of joy and love and peace are always burning. This is also our time when we share the joys and concerns of our congregation. We offer congratulations to Steve and Chris Black, who writes that they are not here this weekend because they are celebrating the joining of their family with Sean and Sarah Kyle's family through the wedding of Travis Black and Anna Kyle yesterday evening in Leesburg, Virginia. Congratulations to Travis and Anna. May they be blessed with a lifetime of love and happiness. We also continue to send love and support to Bob and Karen Spielman, who are continuing to face difficult health challenges. Karen is home now, but is recuperating. And we just send lots of love to both of them. We send a little extra love to Ken Bobby, who's having a procedure this week, and he's hoping that he'll get through and can attend an important graduation in Iowa. We send him love that might be happening. And then thank you to Tom and Linda Kuna, who donated the TV at the back of the back of this room. It's big enough that everybody on the chancel can see what's going on, and I don't have to keep doing this. So exciting. Thank you so much to Jeff Phillips. We have to say thank you to Jeff Phillips a lot up here. And he installed it yesterday, so thank you, Jeff. And finally, a big thank you to everybody who's worked on putting this together. I think I had most of these in the earlier thank you, but I just want to make sure we say thank you to everybody, because this is a true blessing to this community. Laughing together is the best thing you can possibly do. If you have entered this space carrying any burdens of sadness, tragedy, or loss, or uncertainty, we hold you in our hearts today. And if you entered with hearts that are grateful for gifts and blessings, know that we are with you in that as well. We just saw something that said, Christmas is like a magnifying glass. And if you're already feeling happy and connected, it makes you feel happier and more connected. But if you're feeling sad and loss, it can make that feel so much stronger as well. Know that we are with you, however you're getting through this holiday. Please join me today in singing People Look East. is rooted in old tales of the winter solstice. In ancient times, our distant ancestors sometimes told stories of a miraculous child born to return us to the light. A child born into a royal family or an important family who would grow up to lead humankind to a time of truth and justice. The early Christians adapted these stories of miraculous births, and they added a twist. Their miraculous child was not the son of a king, but the son of a carpenter. He was not born to a wealthy queen, but instead the son of a woman whose only wealth was her moral purity. And that Christian story has been told time and time again since those early Christians first began nearly 2,000 years ago. Today we recreate that old story of a miraculous birth of Jesus this morning, but we're going to give it a UU slant. We'll draw on two early Christian accounts of Jesus' birth from the books of Luke and Matthew in the Bible. And following the tradition of Hanukkah, we're going to make this a story of freedom and liberation. And drawing on our own universalist heritage, we're going to make this a story of hope for all people.
Instead of just listening to or watching the story of the birth of Jesus, let's get inside it. So try to forget that you've ever heard this story before, even though you recognize the familiar characters, even though you remember the familiar plot. Try to hear this story as if this is the first time you've heard it. At various points in the story, I am going to ask if some of you would be willing to come up here with me and play the parts of some of the characters in the story. Don't worry, you won't have to speak. When Lois or I pauses and asks for volunteers, here's to play parts in the story. If you want to be in the story, raise your hand, and one of the costumers will call on you to take a part. Then you will move to them, always walking slowly and calmly, where you will be dressed in a simple costume. Someone will then place you in the growing scene. And please, feel free to overact as you might see in old-time silent movies. You will not have lines, but that does not mean you can't be a ham. Ready? Then let's begin.
If you wish, close your eyes for a moment. Transport yourself to another time and another place. Imagine that a story is going to unfold before your very eyes, a brand new story you've never heard before. Imagine that after years and years of hearing stories about women and men bowing down before powerful kings and emperors, dictators and tyrants, you finally hear a story in which three powerful, wise people kneel down before one tiny newborn child. Imagine that after years of hearing that story of terrible wars, you are at last hearing the friendly story of a baby, the story of a humble carpenter and his wife, the baby born in a stable, shepherds who go to sea, and peaceful animals who gather around the stable. Imagine that at last you're going to hear a story in which everyone is longing for peace on earth and goodwill to all. Imagine that after years of hearing stories about hatred and oppression, you finally hear a story about the transforming power of love. Now, slowly open your eyes, listen and watch carefully, and let the story begin with our singing together one verse of O Little Town of Bethlehem. How appropriate.
In those days, long, long ago, a decree went out from the Emperor Caesar of Justice saying, all the world should be registered so they can pay taxes to me. Now we need two people. One to be Joseph, a carpenter, and one to be Mary, who's engaged to Joseph. Of course, I need someone to be the donkey. Please meet Linda and Natalie at the back of the church for your costumes.
Mary, Joseph, donkey.
Mary, Joseph,
This might take a while.
Mary, Joseph, and donkey. Once you have your robes and mask on, could you please walk slowly up the center aisle and then come up here to stand by me? I also need 3 people to be innkeepers. You can come up here and grab a sign. Oh, and this first scene is a starlit night, could everyone else please hold up your hands like this? As if your hands were holding stars. I don't know. You can handle it.
All the people were required to go to town where they had been born to register. Are we ready? We've still got our stars twinkling stars. Okay. All the people were required to go to the town where they had been born to register. For some people, that meant a long journey. Joseph, a carpenter, had to go all the way from the town of Nazareth in Galilee, all the way back there, to Judea, to Bethlehem, the city of David. He went with Mary, the woman he was planning to marry, because she was expecting a child. They started on their long journey, traveling by day and sometimes even by night, their road lit only by stars. Joseph and Mary knew it was not going to be easy, what with Mary almost ready to have her baby. At least they had a donkey that Mary could ride on. And at least the twinkling stars made the road seem friendly. Oh, look at all those twinkling stars. Thank you for those stars. When Joseph and Mary got to Bethlehem, they searched and searched for a place to stay. Searched and searched. Joseph did knock on doors to the inn to ask if there might be room, Bethlehem was crowded and they discovered there was no room at any of the inns. At last, one of the innkeepers told Mary and Joseph they could sleep in the stable. So they settled in to sleep there among the animals. Now, I need some animals. A couple of cows, a giraffe, a monkey, a shark, and a pig. Anything else? Dinosaurs? Okay. And since this was the Middle East, we also need to add a camel. We have dinosaurs, we have... We've got dinosaurs. Look at all these wonderful animals. And since there were so many, and we know from the old stories that all the animals shared what they had with the baby, let's sing a couple of verses of Jesus Our Brother as these animals come forward and the stage manager helps those looking for more flair.
The gentle animals welcomed Joseph and Mary into their stable, and that very night the time came for Mary to give birth. There was no cradle, so Joseph and Mary laid their new baby there in the hay. Now I'm going to need 2 shepherds. Of course, I will also need some sheep for the shepherds to watch. Before you wonder, these are really hardy and strong-willed sheep, so a 1-to-1 ratio is needed. You are headed to Linda and Natalie at the back of the church, and one person from the choir of angels who is willing to be a messenger from the God of the Israelites, also known as an angel of the Lord. If you're an animal and want to return to your seat, you may. In that region, there were shepherds who lived for months at a time out in the fields. They had to watch over their sheep because there were wolves in the hills that would gladly eat a sheep if they could get one. On this night, as the shepherds stood watch in their fields, an angel of the Lord stood before them. Not surprisingly, the shepherds were terrified. But the angel spoke gently, saying to them, "Do not be afraid, for I have appeared to bring you good news of great joy. To you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is the Messiah. This will be a sign to you. You will find a child wrapped in cloth and lying in a cow's feeding trough. I see we're going to need lots more angels all of a sudden. Perhaps everyone who came dressed in white can face the shepherds and sheep. Raise your hands in blessing and act as a host of angels. Come on up here. Oh, I know, okay, sorry. Then the angel who had spoken went on to say,
Glory to God in the highest, and on earth let there be peace and goodwill among all people.
You missed everywhere.
Everywhere. People everywhere.
And there was a whole host of angels singing and praising God, and the shepherds were amazed. If you were an angel, please rise in body or spirit and lift your hands to bless these people.
And let's sing Angels We Have Heard on High.
Upon hearing the message from their God, and hearing the songs from the choir of angels, the shepherds said to one another, "This is amazing! Let's go up to Bethlehem." Being good shepherds, they brought their sheep along. So the shepherds went to Bethlehem with their sheep, and there they found Mary and Joseph and the new baby, just as that angel had told them. As for Mary, she already knew her baby was wonderful, but she listened carefully and treasured all she heard in her heart. The shepherds and sheep admired Mary and the baby. They praised their God, and they prayed that what the angels said would come true, that there would be peace on earth and goodwill for all people, even for the lowly shepherds.
Now, before we sing the first Noel, for the next section, I'm going to need 3 wise people, the wizards, the religious people or magicians who were called the Magi, and who, according to the stories, were also royalty. I also need a camel, because when we are far from home, oftentimes animals help us get where we need to go. And someone willing to be that super galactic event called a bright star. After you get your crowns at the back of the church, please begin walking slowly up the aisle and stop at the first row of chairs. And here, let us pause for a few moments. If you are a townsperson and want to see Mary and the baby, please feel free to come forward in orderly lines as we sing the first Noel. You will come forward up the center aisle and return to your seats via the sides aisle. Very church-like. Let's take it slowly and with reverence so all of us can move at a pace that is safe. townspeople, all you townspeople have come forward? Everybody wanted to see the baby, have seen the baby? Okay. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem, the three wise persons came to Jerusalem. As they journeyed, they noticed that their way was lit by a large and bright star. First, the wise persons went to visit King Herod. Who is King Herod? Where are you? Back there? It's back here? Oh, there's our King Herod, of course. Oh, there's another. Oh. All right, here's our King Herod. And these magi went to Herod and asked, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we have come to praise him and bring him gifts." Now these words frightened King Herod. He thought that he was the king of the Jews. Herod thought and thought, and then he told the three wise persons about a prophecy, that the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. He asked them to go and find the baby, and then return to Jerusalem and tell him where the baby was. Herod said he wanted to honor the baby too, but he really wanted to find that baby and get rid of him so he could still be the king. So the wise persons set out for Bethlehem, following a star until it stopped over the stable where Jesus, Mary, and Joseph were.
Star just needs to go behind Mary and Joseph.
When the wise persons entered the stable and saw the new baby, they were overwhelmed with joy. They knelt down to worship him, and they opened their bags and brought out gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. And they decided that when it was time to go home, they would find some other route, and they would not tell Herod anything at all. I lost my line. Okay. Wait. Oh, wait. Okay, I found it. Sorry. So that the baby and his mother and his father would be safe. Now we are done. Let us pause for a moment, look at the scene. It is a special night with stars and angels and shepherds and wise persons and animals. And they are all admiring a special baby that has just been born. Why would all these people stand around for such a long time to admire a tiny new baby? There's only one reason I can think of. Because the birth of a child always brings hope for the future.
And for a people who lived under oppressive Roman rule, all the while longing for liberation, the birth of a child must have been fraught with extra meaning. Will this be the child who leads us to freedom? Will this be the child who breaks our bonds of slavery and establishes a reign of peace and righteousness?
So it is in our world today. In a world that sometimes seems hopeless, we still look with hope to the future. Every time a baby is born, we hope that this child will be the one of ones who to lead us to a world of righteousness. And every time we tell this Christmas story, it reminds us that we must go out and work for liberation and for justice. That we, you and I, are the ones who are responsible for making sure the world is a better place for all the babies that are born. As our cast of characters hold their places, let us all sing joy to the world together. Caesar has some song sheets to pass out. If you don't have a song sheet, you can still sing the first verse over the 3 times, because you know the hymn.
the ancient sun warms us, and spring follows, winter or we perish, but no divine Savior bears our salvation. Unto us children are born, new chances are given, refreshingly, creatively, generation upon generation. The celebrations of tomorrow will continue to bring good news of birth and a sufficient answer to death. There will always be stars of hope and new angels singing new songs.
In December, we welcome the gift of reflection. We turn toward our holiday celebrations and search for common threads of meaning. Hanukkah, the festival of lights commemorating the time of liberation and rededication, when the faith of the Jewish people sustained them to reclaim their holy temple and keep the light of the menorah burning for 8 days. With Yule, the winter solstice, we are invited to explore the turning of the year from dark to light, with reminders that community helps us survive. And Christmas, the celebration of Jesus' humble birth in a manger, offers us and invites us to revisit the miracle of birth and hope that every child brings to our humanity. Here in this church, you are just as much a holiday miracle as the turning of the earth, the persistence and dedication of faith, the creation of new life. We see the love you give to each other, the space you create to hold one another's joys and sorrows, and the generosity and spirit you entrust to this community. You are each a holiday miracle. Go now, share the good news, and please join in singing our closing, "Go Slow, Go Tell It on the Mountain."